friends. Are you excited about the first guy? Are you excited about the first guy? Exitamente. Sì, ok. Andiamo, Forza Italia now is the guy from Italy. Give him a lot of love, Mr. Marco Moretti.
Keep it up for Joe. First thing first, let's set this straight. This is my actual voice. Oh, what the fuck? I already broke a glass with my voice. 3 seconds in the set, already disaster. And this is what you have to live for the next 10 minutes. I'm so sorry. If you don't get my jokes, we're gonna hand out a printout after the show. I've been having this list for my entire life, and that's my biggest challenge. As Joe said, I'm coming from Italy. That's pretty obvious. But I used to live in Sweden. I used to live in Malmö, which is known to be the second most dangerous city in Sweden. So, let's make it clear. Now I live in Milan. A wonderful place where when you arrive, you go to a vending machine that welcomes you by telling you that you have to be aware of pickpockets. Now to me, Malmö sounds like the second most dangerous of the Backstreet Boys. I don't know what the fuck happens there, but in Malmö, I lost my wallet once, and the guy chased me to the train station to give it back to me. Like, that was the most scary experience, because Swedes don't chase you in any freaking reason. Like, they just stay away from making friends. Like, during the pandemic, they were totally fine getting corona, but making friends, no fucking way. I love Malmö. I moved there 8 years ago, before I moved back in November to Italy. But I had some challenging time, actually, integrating in the Swedish culture. The things that really were putting me off, for example, were the language. Swedes have these amazing words that they use for coffee. And my first day on job, I was actually sitting in front of my computer, and all of a sudden an email comes up. And it's my boss sending me a welcome letter and saying, "Hi Marco, thank you for joining the team. This is your first day, and in order to celebrate, we would like to invite you to have a fika with the rest of the team." Now the Italians in the room are laughing, because fika in Italian means pussy. Okay? So I'm fine, I moved out from the country because I wanted to have a more open-minded life. But an orgy the very first day of job? Not my kind of thing. The other thing I couldn't really get rid of was the weather. I mean, it's notorious that Sweden and Denmark have horrible weather, but at least in my country, rain still works like this. From top to bottom. In Sweden and Denmark, rain works like this. There's no rain in Copenhagen and Malmö. There's God giving you a bukkake. For those in the audience who don't know what a bukkake is, if you Google that after the show, don't click on images. I am not responsible for traumas. I already have many shows where people sue me after. The other really challenging thing, after I had this experience with the language, I decided it was time to actually learn Swedish. So in that case, I started with where every expert starts. Like, I'm not sure if anybody here is trying to learn a language. Are you using Duolingo? Yeah. Please raise your hand how many people are using Duolingo. Please keep your hands up. Hold the people who actually have learned the language with Duolingo. That's what I meant. Duolingo was teaching me amazing sentences that I would have never used in my daily life, and I have a conspiracy theory around that Duolingo is fucking racist. Because normally you teach stuff like, I want a sandwich, or I need a coffee, or how can I pay for that, can I invite you out for dinner, excuse me, I'm sitting here to take a shit. Duolingo was teaching me stuff like, je definitively inte på polisen. Which means I definitely don't trust the police. The very next day it was teaching me, police are after me. The police is chasing me. And until that point I was like, okay, this is just a coincidence, a combination, a chance. You can tell I'm coming from it, my English sucks. But the very next day, it was teaching me, jag ätit lunch med min advokat, which means I'm having lunch with my lawyer. This was like the soprano plot getting developed in front of my eyes. The last thing, I will stop complaining about Sweden and I will start complaining about Italy. I do this because therapy is too expensive. Was the food. Sweden is known for many delicacies, the meatball that you can find at IKEA that they made the same stuff they used to make furniture. But they have these very amazing things. One that I couldn't get past of was the flying Jacob. Any Swedes in the audience tonight? Flying Jacob is this great idea somebody in Sweden have to put together rotisserie chicken, bananas, cashew nut, cream, put it in the oven, and then eat it. Like sounds like a 5-year-old science project. How can you even get your mouth close to that thing? I hope it's called Flying Jacob because somebody kicked Jacob out of a fucking window. But the thing I based almost my entire comedy career on is actually a crusade I'm fighting against the entire world for a specific kind of pineapple pizza. And I know I'm gonna make some enemies tonight. There are people who actually like that stuff. But let's set this straight. Pineapple pizza is an abomination. It was invented by Canadians. Even worse, a Greek guy who was pretending to be Canadian, so I have no idea. And he decided to make a pizza. It's like a blind guy with no experience making furniture like that. Like, why? And he called that Hawaiian pizza. And I have my second conspiracy theory of the night. I guess the guy was jealous because he was living in Canada and he missed the good weather of Greece, of Hawaii and Italy, and wanted to start a fucking war between the two countries. So he was like, yeah, we're gonna bomb this guy. But pineapple pizza is an abomination. I mean, pineapple is a horrible, terrible fruit, and I believe for them to be on top of a pizza is a fucking achievement. It's like for Jay-Z to be on top of Beyonce. Some things should not happen. He's an ugly motherfucker and should just stay away from the beautiful thing that she is. And yes, in my life, pizza is the Beyonce of food. So after all this, let's say, things, I decided I was time to move back to Italy, and I didn't know where I was going to live. Now I live with my family, my sister and my 6-year-old nephew. She's great for my sex life. Completely removed it. I don't have to worry about that. I can dedicate the time to something else. And I visit my mom regularly. The thing I've realized at my own expenses is that Italians are 60 million people never shut the fuck up. And I know we know, but I'm gonna tell you a secret. I've realized why. Because in any other country of the world, like people speak when they need to deliver a genuine piece of information to somebody else. That's not how it works in my country. And you can confirm that in the audience. We speak because we hate silence. Like if you, and when I was going back from Sweden to Italy, and normally like in Sweden, what you do, you start a sentence, the other guy goes, you sit, you listen, at some point he stops, and you talk. If you do that in Italy, you could die listening. So, in Italy, we interrupt each other, not because we want to be rude, it's self-defense. You don't want to sit there and just die of starvation waiting for this guy to stop. And I've learned that the very first dinner with my family, because I asked a question about my dad, and I sit there for 45 minutes listening ranting about the Second World War. I asked you the salt. The second thing I've learned is that the moment you move back with your parents, and I guess this is a problem for the entire world, you're no longer a grown-up human being. You have to go back with them. Like, my mom doesn't believe, it doesn't matter if I had a life, I bought an apartment, I had a career, and I just moved back to Italy, she still treats me like the same guy she had to spend months in her life teaching him how to not shoot himself in public. That's the level of credibility I have with my mom. And I realized that the day I told her I wanted to be a comedian, I told her, like, you know, in my free time, I do stand-up comedy. And her opinion of me is so high that she said, like, can't you do something more productive with your life? Like finding a wife? No, it's like for her, I'm useless. I'm good for the production and nothing else. Like, do that and then die. That's my opinion. That's why I'm on this page. So yeah, moving back to Italy, family. I decided that I needed to get out. I needed to do something. So I decided to use Tinder. And I heard some of you are on Tinder, right? This science is good. Last night I asked the same question, and genuinely nobody in the audience was on Tinder. So after the show, I went out and asked for marriage advice. Like, can you please tell me, like, how do you stay in a relationship today when I can't even choose a movie on Netflix? I don't know. Anyway, this thing that again hit me is that in Italy we have the best description possible on Tinder. There are two that I like the most. The first one is that I like laughter. Like that's a distinctive trait of any personality. Do you know anybody who doesn't like laughter? Is there anybody or your acquaintances like, oh my God, no, please stop. This contraction of my abdomen, I can't really stand them. The second thing, and this is the one I love the most, is this description, like, no psychopath. I want to point out that psychopaths generally don't know they are psychopaths. And I don't think that even if they do, there's somebody in this world, Ted Bundy, sitting on Tinder and like, oh yes, I like this girl. Oh shit, no, psychopath. Swipe left. But yeah, I'm trying my best to actually do it, but honestly, using an app when you find your partner while sitting on a toilet is not exactly something. You can laugh. That's how our kids are gonna remember how their parents met. You eat at fucking McDonald's and you found her picture on Tinder, and that's how a relationship is born. It's sad but true. But the reason why I left Sweden, the reason why I decided it was time to close with that is also because when I moved to Sweden, I did it for my job, but I also did it because I found love. Love is this thing that you find in yourself one day that's gonna change your life forever. A little bit like cancer. Yes, I just said. I love looking at the couples and just like, what the fuck did he say? It's the most blue joke in my repertoire, and I'm gonna move to better stuff soon. Anyway, I met this amazing girl in Copenhagen and I immediately fell in love with her, but she had this challenging kind of a personality. She loved to keep me on my toes with unexpected questions. It was like dating the Riddler, but if you guess right, he will suck your dick. That's good. Do you know her? Like you said it like you know. That's great. It's like a slot machine. Like. Anyway, I still remember one of those questions. It's still bothering me today. One day we were in bed and she was lying on my chest. And, she stood up, she looked at me and she said, "Honey, would you like to have sex?" And I immediately said, "Yes, of course." And she looked at me and said, "Why?" I still can't find a segue to this joke because I don't know why. Women have no idea why we want to have sex. We just know that at some point blood goes from here to there, and that happens. We disappear for 3 minutes. That's about it. But I'm not mad at my girlfriend. I am not mad at my girlfriend because she's the one who actually pushed me to get into stand-up. Because the day we broke up, we were having this argument in our apartment. I was walking out and I tried to lighten up the mood with making a stupid joke, and she said the most motivational word that I'd ever heard coming out of her mouth. "You're not funny." And the thing is, like, being Italian, I might not be funny, but I'm fucking stubborn. And I immediately thought, well, fuck you, I'm gonna find a random group of people somewhere and prove you wrong. Thank you for being my random group of people.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marco Moretti! psychopath. And I saw one of the funniest reactions I've ever seen in the audience. You looked at him